I'm going to be showing you how I create edits and work on my podcasting in GarageBand. And this is an episode of Kalani Live. It's one of the two podcasts that I currently write and produce. I'm going to show you what's going on here. So you see I've got two tracks. This is the male voice track. This is my voice overdub vocal track. And then this track is the jingles track. And I put all my music here. If there's any sound effects, I don't usually use sound effects, but I put my music here. If I need to crossfade music, I'd add another track, but I keep it pretty simple. I think it's great for instruction right now. So here's the talking that I have as my intro. Welcome to this episode of Kalani Live. This show is for people who believe that music is about more than just entertainment. Okay, and then here's my opening music, and I want to point out right here, I've got this tab pressed, I've got track volume enabled, and so this line is showing you what's happening with the volume. Also note that when you see the cursor moving across here, you'll see the volume knob moving over here, all right, like that, and that happens automatically. So let's give that a listen. All right, and that's ducking. I don't like to use automatic ducking because to me it just sounds a little strange. And also, if you use automatic ducking, this is called ducking, where we lower the volume for talking. If you use automatic ducking and you pause for a second and you're talking, then the music tries to sneak back up and it can be going up and down, up and down. So I like to just do it manually. It's a little more work, but I think it gives a better product. So here's what the intro sounds like. Watch the volume here. Welcome to this episode of Kalani Live. This show is for people who believe that music is about more than just entertainment. What is it about? We're going to find out in a second. Before we do that, I want to point out that I've got these set to about, well, here, okay, it's only negative 9 dB. So this starts off at 0 pretty much. Well, actually, no, I lied. I start this a little higher. It really depends on the volume of your track. So this is not a very loud, this is the introduction. So it doesn't get very loud until this part. So I don't have to lower it as much. But generally speaking, like over here, I go down to about between 18 and 20 decibels. I lower the volume of a track when I have vocal over it. So when I have a voiceover over music, I'm lowering. I find that about minus 20 is a good place to let the music sit under the voiceover. So I'm going to play from here on. You can look at what's happening here. The voice, I can trim these back a little bit. And we'll listen to the rest of this intro. It's about quality of life and fulfilling our human potential. All right, welcome back, you guys. Okay, so that's my introduction. I think this music sets up nicely for a short statement here. I'm riding the volume up and down. Let's fast forward. I've got the music playing all the way under here. And then here I've got another intro into my first section. So in this part, I'm talking about what I'm going to talk about. Remember that essay form? So I talk about what I'm going to talk about in this first part, and then here I've got a little break, and I use the music again just to break up the talking. Great resource for learning how to do that and how to create a groove. All that and more coming right up. So when we talk about universal rhythms, we're really talking about, okay, so, I like to use the music structure. Music gives us a structure, so I put my talking here. I get out of the way just in time for the chorus, and then when the guitar solo starts over here, I'm back in. This is finishing. This is stuff that you can decide to do or not to do. I try to be sensitive to what's happening in the music and use the music to help structure the overall podcast. I think it's a great way to add some nice finishing touches and just, make it a little bit better. So what I've got going here is a long fade out. And then I've got an edit here, and I'm going to show you what I did for that. So I'm talking and the music's fading out the world throughout different styles of music. And so in this episode, I'm going to mention a few, and then I'm going to point you to this video that I produced at work. Okay, so let's see what I did here. I'm going to bring up this window, which is showing us whatever I have highlighted over here. So if I click this, and I don't know why the color changes necessarily, but this would be the jingle music. This is the voiceover. So I'm going to zoom in to this video that I produced. I guess it needs to catch up. I'm going to mention a few, and then I'm going to point you to this video. So I've got an edit right here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little line. I'm going to pull this out for a second. Oops. I don't want to drag the whole thing. So just selecting the clip, and then I'm going to pull this away. Let's see what I had. This is what I had recorded. I'm going to point you to this video that. All right, so some sort of weird mental break, a verbal space, so a little bit too much space there. And then I'm going to point you to this video that I. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure what I was going to point you guys towards. I decided eventually that it was a video. So that's a little bit of a weird space. I wanted to get rid of it. So what I did is I put the cursor over the section. I make sure the section is highlighted. Then you just press your Option T. Oh, I'm sorry, Command T, and it will cut that. Cuts it right here. Now I can grab the edge, slide that. I can grab the other edge, slide it. And now I can slide these together. I could also just overlap them. And now when I listen back, then I'm going to point you to this video that I. Okay, much better, right? So that's what I did there. I cut out that little weird space. And let's put those back together. Now, if you want, let me show you this little trick. If you want to marry these back together, you can highlight both of them. Make sure you highlight only what you want to glue back together. And then you're going to go up to your menu and go to Edit and then Join. Right here, Join. And it will work on that for a minute. And now it is one. It has been reunited. All right. A few, and then I'm going to point you to this video that I produced. Right. So now this is one thing again. And it's purple. So if you like purple, that's good. Here, I've faded out the music and I'm talking, and now I'm going to bring in some other music. So I've cut the end of the jingle track, cut the end of that piece of music, and now I'm introducing a new piece of music here. I'm going to fade it in, and then it fades up. So I'm just going to play this for you guys so you can hear what I did there. Balance 4, the track. You can look at his Rhythm Farm it's on Amazon. I think it's on iTunes. Check out Greg Ellis. He's a wonderful percussionist and musician. And I use a lot of his music actually in the Evolve podcast. If you're not familiar with Evolve, go to iTunes and search for Evolve Kalani Das and tune into that. But here's an example of the straight feel. This is balance number 4, and check it out. Okay, and then I come back in and I talk for a little while, and then I'm going to introduce another piece of music, and so I need to go get that because it's not here right now. So this is another example, and I think it's just great to let music speak for itself. So this is also from Greg's Rhythm Farm series. This is Clarity number 5, and listen for that feel in this music. All right, so now we need to go get Clarity number 5. So I'm going to go down to my music library. What I do, I'm going to show you guys this. You've got choices here as to where you want to get your music. GarageBand has some things like loops, jingles, stingers. So these are all here's some categories. So if you go into GarageBand, you'll see jingles. Here's jazz, and you can listen by clicking on them. All right. So I am not using GarageBand sounds right now. I'm just going to use my sounds from, oh, and there's also loops and things here. But anyway, that's not the subject we're on right now. Let's go back to iTunes. So I'm going to pull music from my iTunes library. I can either select from all of my music here. If you don't have a huge iTunes library, that might be a good option, but there's just too many things in my main library. So I created a track playlist, and I'm actually stealing from the Evolve playlist. I've got a few playlists here, one for Hawaiian music. This is my Evolve podcast playlist, and I need to go in and grab Serenity 5. I want to make sure. This is Clarity number 5. Good thing I checked. You don't want Serenity when you want Clarity. Okay, where is Clarity 5? I need to find it. I know it's in here. It's probably right in front of me. It's here. Okay, so I'm going to grab this. I'm going to drag it. Click on it until you see the album artwork, then drag it in. I'm going to drag it into my jingles track. It's going to do a little bit of converting, and now it's here. And then the thing I want to do is I want to make sure I skip the intro because I'm not so interested. I want to get it where it's kind of playing the main thing. So I'm going to listen. Yeah, see, I want to get down here. Okay, so I'm going to use my little cut this, get rid of the first part, slide this down, because I want it in the main part of the song. All right, so here I've got a fade in already, a little bit of under my voice, and then it fades up, and then I've got some talking here. So I'm going to move that back for now, and let's hear what this sounds like. Listen for that feel in this music. And maybe I'm going to reinforce that feel with a little commentary. So I'm going to listen to that again. 5, and listen for that feel in this music. Dun, 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 dun. Here's another example. Okay, I want to have a longer example. So I'm going to slide my talking down out of the way and let that play a little bit longer. For that feel in this music. Okay, that's good. And then I've got a different piece of music that I'm bringing in here. Here's another example. This is Nourishment number 4 with the pushed feel. Okay, so now I want to do a quick fade out here. And I want to be faded down. I'm going to fade that out and trim this. And then go get my other piece of music, Nourishment number 4. This sounds absolutely delicious, doesn't it? When has music sounded so good? Here's Nourishment number 4. You can preview over here too, by the way. And you see how there's an introduction? So I don't necessarily want to have the intro. I just want to have the main part of the music. So I'm going to go back and mute my voice. And I know I'm not going to use the intro, so I'm going to just grab the end, slide this down. And that looks good. Let's grab it there. And I've got my fade up here. I want to make sure that I'm not fading up too soon, so probably want to be fading up when I'm done talking. Let me check this. I want to be faded down. I don't have to be faded all the way down by the time I start talking, but you know, it's okay to overlap them a little, but something like that. Here's another example. This is Nourishment number 4 with the pushed feel. And I can see that my voiceover is coming a little too soon. So I'm going to zoom out. I need more space here. So I'm going to grab all of this and pull it down out of the way. And then we'll zoom back in. And if I wanted to, I could record some commentary over this by hitting the record button down here. Pushed feel. Got, da, doom, da, doom, da, doom, da, doom, da. Let's see how that sounds. Got, da, doom, da, doom, da, doom, da, doom, da. So it's a little late, and so I can just actually go in and look, visually see where that beat is and slide my vocal up to match it. Got da doom da 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 da. Perfect. All right. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Just working with music down here, voice up here. If I wanted to, I could activate the voice track. Let's say I want to bring this little voice thing up or down. I could do that. But this is the basic editing techniques. And then for my output, I want to see the master. I want to show master track. And this is my master volume here. My master volume I can lower and raise, but also what I wanted to do is put some finishing effects on the master track. So I use a plugin. I'll talk about those in another video, but this should give you some tips on how you can edit your audio, move it around, change the volume levels, fix little things that need to be fixed, and make your podcasts sound a lot better by using some basic editing techniques. Okay, I hope you enjoy this. If you do, give it a like, and we'll see you in future videos. Thanks for watching.